Got it. Let's see. All right. All right. Welcome, everybody. We are back again here with Lauriston Crockett, the third, with Peptide Guru. And he's the founder and starter of Genostemma, the peptides that we're going to be diving into tonight. He is the peptide guru. He wrote a book about it. So tonight we're all going to be on mute, but there will be chances to ask questions. So we're going to try and cover a lot of the basics and kind of just kind of build you up so you are more informed on how to use it and what it's good for. And if something pops up, if you have a question, there is a question. Just type it in your question box, and we'll try and get it answered as we go. And then at the end, we will also have a question and answer period. So if you have questions, keep them till the end, or if there's something burning, just go ahead and ask it. And I'm going to turn it over to Lawrence, and we're going to learn more about peptides tonight.
So, hey, I'm so glad everybody's here, and I love the question and answer. So, I don't know if you heard the story. Over 20 years ago, I was going to be a Franciscan, and I lost something very dear to me, a Cocker Spaniel, Joe Cocker. I can always make the joke, what else would you name your Cocker Spaniel, right? And the Lord just left me in a different way, and I started exploring in different supplements and what we could do for longevity and health. And of course, I kept running into roadblocks because everybody's so convinced of this billion-dollar industry called synthetic vitamins and minerals. So these products are made from byproducts of petroleum. And I said, that's not the answer. So I got down to the essence of a cell, and every cell in the human body, which is approximately 37.2 trillion cells, has a peptide and communicates through peptide bonding. And a peptide is a short chain amino acids, and they play an important role in every aspect biological process in the body. So I actually even just made a quick top 10 list. Aaron, let's go through that. A top 10 list, which, also, guys, I want everybody to know that, so I wrote the book, Peptides Are Life. It's for sale right now on Amazon, but everybody who's here, if you want a free copy digitally, I want to make sure that, we can give that out to you today, because I want you to be able to read this and understand it and see all the different aspects from, oh my God, immunity to anti-aging to fertility to brain function to, peptides also, fight cancerous and tumor cells. But so, to get right back to it, my top 10 list is, peptides regulate hormones. Now remember, every cell in the human body has a peptide, and there's 40 peptide hormones. So we're kind of talking about something very, very important to health and longevity. Number 2, promote wound healing. Number 3, improve muscle growth and recovery. 4, enhance immune function, host defense peptides. This is what we need to be talking about. It's the most potent broad-spectrum antibiotic the body makes. You have them on your face right now. Reduce inflammation, promote healthy skin, support brain function, increase bone density. Nobody knows that about peptides, right? Lower blood pressure, and increase heart function. Peptides increase heart function. And of course, last on my top 10 list, and everybody's always worried about that, is it aids in weight loss. So peptides actually touch every function of the body. Now, the Russians really were so far more advanced than we were. And a long time ago, back in the Olympics, and everybody knew that the Russians were always winning. And they thought they were doing steroids, but they weren't. They were doing peptides. And the Russians actually started working with peptides to help increase the health of people in their military, to keep them healthy longer. And so this is where the Russians really went ahead of us in peptide technologies. But, it goes back also to the Egyptians. We're talking about peptides at the time. The Egyptians wrote about something called diabetes. And we have a major, major issue right here in the United States with pre-diabetic and type 2 diabetic, which I will call an insulin health issue. Since I'm not an MD, I can't use the franchise word, so we'll call it an insulin health issue. But insulin is a peptide, and we've made some remarkable things happen with people using peptides and helping their insulin health issues. We're working with some doctors right now that are just starting to take the peptides because they're type 2 insulin health issue. And we hope to have their results back very shortly because we find out that these peptides are fast acting and highly effective. Now, compared to the Chinese and the Russians who are making injectables, we were able to cross the barrier and make an ingestible peptide. Now, this peptide is at 5,000 Daltons. And of course, that's the atomic weight is so small, they can actually go through the pores of your body. And we come back also to the word, we talk about peptides. Everybody hears peptides everywhere. But yet when I go to ask them, okay, well, tell me what a peptide is. They don't know. Can you tell me what the word peptide means? And they don't know. And that's why I want everybody to get my book. Like I said, I wrote it in such a way that everyone should be able to understand it. But very simply, the word peptide comes from the Greek root word peptos. Peptos means digested. So we get our peptides from foods that we eat. Now, here's something that is really going to kind of make you think, and the light bulb is going to go off. We start having hormonal issues as we're getting older. Men start losing testosterone levels at the age of 29 and 30. What else is going on at that time is what women are, their clock is ticking, and we're worried about fertility and everything. Well, it comes back to that our digestive system starts changing as we get older. And it isn't just by coincidence to think that as our digestive system is changing, so are our hormone levels and our recovery, and we start aging faster as we are getting older. And it all leads back to digestion, and digestion is where peptides are made. So we decided to think out of the box, and we're able to actually create a peptide that is ingestible. Now, these peptides have been running through my blood for 20 years, 24 hours a day. And of course, a lot of people say that I'm not aging like other people. Now, the Russians proved that a lab mouse, you can increase the lifespan of a lab mouse between 10 to 30%. So to be truthful with you, I will be 64 on April 12th. My son, one of my sons will be 12 on April 14th. And then of course, if you can see this little guy, let me see if we can get right here. Hopefully we can see Maxton. That little boy right there is 4 months old. He's a 98 percentile baby. And that is my son that was born in October. So again, what's going on? They say, well, men can have babies when they're older. Yes, that's true. But do they have the energy? Because everyone knows that I also have a master trainer, biomechanics specialist background. But I'm in the gym 6 times a week and I'm doing 1,000 reps and running for fun. I have no joint pain. There's nothing else going on, and I sleep like a baby. I have to hold this back to something called living the peptide life. Now, these peptides you can take on an empty stomach, or you can take with food. It doesn't really matter. And we take these peptides, this hexatide peptide, twice a day if you want to get the results that you want. And the reason is because they only stay in the system for 8 to 12 hours. So to stay in balance, which is just another word called homeostasis that we all know, we take it twice a day. And if you'll invest in yourself with these peptides, we believe that you can stop, slow down, or reverse the side effects of aging and other diseases. Didn't say we cured anything. I don't have a license to say that, but I'm telling you that we're doing some major things. Now, when you start talking about studies, we've been working with animals now for 20 years. Matter of fact, on Fox Radio and TV, I'm their pet health and longevity contributor. And we just got an international award on this peptide in Hong Kong for the top pet product of 2023. So we're very, very proud of that. And the reason I bring that up so much is because of our animal division, is that dogs and cats, and I'm working with thoroughbred horses now and rodeo horses, don't know placebo effect. They only know that they've given them a peptide or a treat. And yet within 4 days with an old dog, you see them turning on again. Now, of course, in America, we have an overpopulation problem. We spay and neuter, which breaks the endocrine loop. We're not producing except 1% of the hormones. But with these peptides are so effective, it actually starts working with the adrenal cortex, and they start working with peptides. They start producing hormones again. So getting back to it, it comes back to the full yin yang of our home, which is our self, our health, and our family, and also our pet family too. These peptides are just doing some major, major things. So again, this is what the peptides do. This is what the peptide life is all about. And I have so many people that say, well, Lauriston, can I still take vitamins and minerals? Well, I mean, are you vitamin deficient? I talked to a lady the other day. I won't mention her name. She was taking 120 pills a day. And the FDA has proven that these synthetic vitamins actually decrease the lifespan of a woman. And so we have to get back to it. Why are we taking all this stuff if we don't need it? Now, we do know we need peptides because as we're getting older, our digestive system is changing. Therefore, our peptide production is changing. So we boost with natural peptides. Therefore, we'll get the signal and our hormones are coming back at optimal levels. It's done it for me. I've had my blood test done. My PSA level, my age is supposed to be between 1 and 4. My PSA, my prostate came back in at 1.070. My testosterone is 715. I do nothing but take peptides and eat a regular diet. So again, that's what I talk about is living the peptide life. Now, natural energy, it is not a stimulant, but you're going to find out that you have more natural energy to get more things done. Brain function, we're working to say, oh my God, I can think again. I don't have brain fog. I went right. Neural growth factors are really great. That's part of the matrix. So before we start taking questions and answers, I'll tell you, we're able to harvest with our peptides, insulin growth factor 1 and 2. No one ever talks about 2. Connective tissue growth factors, neural growth factors, epidermis growth factors, fibroblast growth factors, skin growth factors, TNF-A and TNF-A and B, and especially host defense peptides, which have the ability to kill fungi, bacteria, and viruses. And this is all in the peptide matrix. So anyway, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to peptide, living the peptide life, not taking all these other things, but what Michael Payne had to say, which I thought was absolutely brilliant, is let's get a baseline of your health strictly using peptides. Put everything else aside because we don't need help, right? Peptides is natural, means digested. Take the peptides using the peptide life. Let's get a baseline, and then we'll decide if you're deficient in anything else or if there's other issues that you're having. Because we get help joint pain so much and sleep so much. Who needs better sleep out there? So again, this is what the peptide life is all about. So I hope I'm not rambling. I'm just trying to give you a large picture because we're doing a deep dive into peptides tonight. So anyway, Aaron, do we have any questions?
Not yet, but just to add on to that, that's kind of our theme lately is the foundational molecules that we need for life. And peptides are being one of them to help restore and protect our body as it is, like help protect the collagen, help protect the digestive system,
Right.
brain. So that's the kind of what we are going to be really touching on over the next 6 months is the foundational molecules to return your body back to health as quick as possible. So do we have any questions? Anybody have any right now, or do you want to keep going? I think we can keep going.
Okay, great. So, we're preparing our body all the time because every time we wake up and we leave the house, we're going out into a hostile environment. So let's talk about, because we've just lived through 3 years of hell with the COVID and everything else. And let's talk about host defense peptides or antimicrobial host defense peptides. So antimicrobial host defense peptide or just a cationic or host defense peptide we actually have in the matrix. We created one product, even for children, it's natural cherry flavor with zinc and vitamin C. All the peptides actually have it in there, but we made it a little bit weaker, it's got 30 milligrams, but we put zinc and vitamin C in there. And, these host defense peptides are absolutely amazing. They can kill fungi. They're designed to kill bacterium. And the crazy thing about the viruses, which usually have an envelope around as protection around the virus. But when a host defense peptide touches, it has the ability to drill into the virus and actually kill the virus. And that's why it's so highly effective to boosting your immune system. And that's what we're doing every day. I was actually getting a certification and doing some Pilates, and I was actually in a private room taking a private lesson. And the instructor called me up and and said, Lauriston, I feel horrible. And I said, why? What, what's going on? Well, I feel horrible because I've got COVID and I really don't feel good. I said, okay, well, let me get you some host defense peptides over there to you. And we did. And then I said, well, I have family around me. So the prudent thing to do is go get tested. So apparently I tested positive for COVID. But what I did for the next 5 days, I never had a fever, I never had any issues at all, is I decided to swim laps in the pool because I didn't feel like it was appropriate for me to go to the gym. I walked my big dog Max 3 or 4 miles a day, and I jogged, I ran. So again, my body didn't, react to a lot of other people who are getting sick and feeling badly because I knew that my immune system was totally boosted with host defense peptides. And so we kind of found that pretty amazing, where other people were suffering, and we felt so badly about that. Matter of fact, Big Pharma right now is actually trying to make, a vaccine using HDPs. They're trying to find a way to actually make this so they can turn around and sell it in a vaccine form, where it's actually naturally occurring in peptides. So again, why are we doing that when we can actually boost it naturally in our body? So if you're having any issues about immune system, then we should be boosting our immune system all the time. So again, you take your HTP when you leave in the morning, you're putting that shield around yourself. And then when you come home, you take another one, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon when you get home, to reboost that shield while you're at home with all your loved ones and your pets. So that's the reason why that we actually came out with our HTP. Now, people ask me questions about, hey, Lauriston, what is the difference between GenoStem GS6, which is the blue bottle, and what is the difference between GenoStem Pro? And I'll tell you the story behind that. We first came out with GenoStem GS6, and everyone was taking it. But people over 175 pounds, or people who train and work out a lot, they were finding that they felt like they were underdosed. So by doing that, we didn't want people spending more money, really. So we increased it from 100 milligrams per tablet of the GenoStem GS6 to 150 milligrams of the GenoStem Pro. And I was so lucky to be able to meet and work with the legend Chris Kyle, the Navy SEAL. I think you guys saw the movie about him. And Chris started taking peptides and was recovering so quickly. He's told SEAL Team 2 and 4, and then they started taking it. But it's really not just made for SEALs, but SEALs wanted that recovery. So again, with the peptides, your recovery, whether it's physical, sexually, mentally, it affects all the other bodies. So that's the difference. If you're up to 175 pounds, then we say GenoStem GS6. If you're over 175 pounds or you work out, then we go with GenoStem Pro. And this, therefore, we know that you're pretty much dosed correctly. More peptides doesn't mean better peptides, but if we're dealing with somebody who has an insulin health issue or has other health issues, then there's a way to increase that. So you actually know that you're being dosed properly. But in the meantime, we just really think that 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon is really the way to do it. And there's 60 pills per bottle. And so anyway, that's the difference between those two products. We have any other questions? I'm sorry, Aaron, I can't hear you. I can't hear.
There it goes. All right. I want to come off the mute. So somebody asked which peptide is the best one to start with.
It depends on how much you weigh and what are your activities.
Do you kind of want to touch on the fact that there's a lot of peptides, because peptides are kind of big in the market right now, for skincare and weight loss and muscle building. But can you kind of touch on how, why GenoStem has kind of it's like a multi-peptide capsule?
Oh, absolutely. And let's talk about the capsule first also. Now on GenoStem Pro, we just switched from going with a tablet to actually a capsule. And the reason I did that is Michael came to me and he said, Lauriston, the magnesium stearate, we have some people that may have some issues with that. Would you mind formulating a different product for us? And I didn't mind at all. So we actually the new GenoStem Pro that you'll be getting when you order it from the website or the affiliate program with Michael actually has pure rice flour in it and pure peptides. So it's immediately assimilated, and it actually is really easy to take. And if you want to take it out, spread it on your tongue, it actually tastes good. So anyway, that is the difference between that. Now, if we're talking about our peptide and other peptides, first of all, you have to understand where is the peptide source and what is the peptide, and does it really do anything? Because again, the word peptide comes from the word peptose. There's apple peptides and there's all these other different peptides. But what do they really do? And do they really have the amount of amino acids and the naturally occurring, remember, naturally occurring growth factors, not growth hormones. Growth hormones are dangerous. Naturally occurring growth factors. Growth factors tell the cellular receptor sites in the body what to do. So what we were able to do is we had to find the proper protein source. And we decided to go with an embryonic protein source. But our system is highly sophisticated, and we own the technology. And what we have is an embryonic fertilized egg yolk, and it's immediately hand extracted. And this is how we're able to create these naturally occurring growth factors before it becomes an avian or a bird or a chicken or whatever. We're able to harvest it immediately, and the growth factors are stimulated. And we don't know anybody else in the world that can do that. Now, you have injectables that you have to stick yourself 2 or 3 times a day. Those are coming from China, and these are coming from Russia. We don't know where they're sourced, and we don't really know what's going on, compared to you have an American peptide that's been being used now for 20 years. So my first product, I guess, was the Gift for Life, which has been called the Fountain of Youth for Pets, and again, won the award in Hong Kong recently. And so I've been working with pets for 20 years. And it was ABC News who said it was the Fountain of Youth, because some of their people who work for there actually had older pets. They used the product and they saw their dogs change in just a matter of 4 days. And the great part, again, about animals, they don't know placebo effect. So again, you have to get back to the word peptide. What kind of peptide? Where is it sourced? What does it do? And what are the amino acids, and what are the naturally occurring growth factors, other than just being a buzzword, because everybody's using the word peptide now. Even collagen. Yes. Is collagen a peptide? What? Yes, it is. The problem about the collagen peptide is, unless you have a connective tissue growth factor or a growth factor to tell the body what to do with that certain peptide, your body's just going to use a little bit of it or just get rid of it as waste. So again, you need the combination or the 1-2 punch of the hexatide peptide, which has the amino acid and peptides, along with the naturally occurring growth factors. And this is what makes us so superior to that. And I will tell you a story that even Mark Cuban found out about our product and tried to do a reverse engineering on us, and he couldn't do it. So just to show you we're very interested in what we've been doing for a long time. Because once you get over 230 degrees, you kill the carbon marker, and you have to do that to try to find out what's going on. So again, that's a story about Mr. Mark Cuban. So again, we have the most highly sophisticated natural peptide made right here in America. And there's a difference, whereas Maybelline or anybody else out there, they won't tell us what their sources are. And so we have to sit back and go, wow, where are you getting it from? Most people, as a formulator, I know I can source anything from China or other areas that, you know what, they haven't been tested. Without it being tested, then to me, it's a dangerous source. So that's just my opinion. And again, what I've been doing and working with lives around the world for 20 years.
Do you, how about people that have egg allergies? Are they able to take this product?
Absolutely, because unless I told you, you never would have been able to find anything having to do with this type of peptide, because the peptide is at 5,000 Daltons. So you can't find any egg in it. We've actually broken it down to a peptide, a short chain amino acid source with the naturally occurring growth factors. So absolutely zero side effects.
I have someone else that has a question. She has been taking the peptides for 2.5 weeks. Notices that she needs higher magnesium. Could you think of any reason why?
No, and it wouldn't have anything to do with the peptide, because peptides have zero side effects. And I'd have to say I don't know where that's coming from. Over 20 years, we've never had anybody who needed magnesium We all need a natural source of magnesium. I'd have to say, what is her source of magnesium? And why is she getting it from a natural food source instead of taking a pill? But no, you would not need more magnesium, but I would check into that maybe with your naturopath, or just find a good food source and do that, because I've never been asked that question before in 20 years.
Yeah, I don't really understand why that's happening either. All right. Do you want to kind of, so we've talked about like where the peptides are coming from. Do you want to kind of touch on how the bioactive form of these peptides are better, instead of just doing like how it stays in the system for a little longer? And, this broad range can using a broad range peptide is kind of like you said, it puts the shield on us. And
Well, it also acts in a broad spectrum peptide, like the hexatide peptide, like I said, with the 18 amino acids. Who's going to say that? With the 21 naturally occurring growth factors. So we're able to say that we absolutely touch on every aspect of the body. Let's go to fertility. You need peptide source for healthy eggs and for sperm. A lot of people don't know that peptides play a major role when it comes to fertility. Let's talk about brain function. How about strength? Insulin growth factor 1 is the holy grail of strength and lean muscle mass. Now, there's some products out there that say that it comes from deer antler velvet, which is the biggest fahooey, biggest junk lie in the world. IGF-1 does not come from deer antler velvet. I don't care what they say. And I've asked them to debate me live on social media, and they never show up. So again, an insulin growth factor 1 for lean muscle mass, and it also helps you lose weight. And let's talk about what peptides do. So the life force of the body is the hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenaline axis. This is the life force of the body, which creates hormones. And what we want to do is be able to stimulate that to stay in an optimal or homeostasis, but at what we call optimal or youthful levels and in balance. And we don't know any other peptide that can actually do that. Even, like I said, dogs and cats that have been harmed. And we have to say that harmed in the sense of that we've harmed their endocrine system because they've been spayed and neutered. We're able to get their adrenal cortex working again, and they start producing hormones. We don't know of any other peptide out there that can accomplish what we do and what we do on a daily basis. And again, personally, and there's a lot of other people that have been taking peptides now for 15 years. And again, they just notice that other people are just getting weaker, getting slower, cognitively, they're slowing down again. And this doesn't happen when you're living the peptide life. So again, what I say is go pure, live the peptide life. Remember, your digestive system is changing and slowing down. So this is why we're increasing our peptide through the supplement of a hexatide peptide. And by doing that, then we're getting the same peptide signaling that we did when we were younger adults. And our dogs or cats were younger also, or before the elective surgery of spaying and neutering. And this is why you're getting the results you're getting, because you're actually getting that peptide signaling. And remember, our body doesn't wear one of these. It comes back to actually the hormone levels and signaling. Somebody brought up telomeres. Well, Lauriston, what about telomeres? I said, well, telomeres have peptides. So even every part of a telomere actually has a peptide. So this is what we're boosting, is everything that has to do with health and longevity.
Yeah, this foundational molecules that we are really starting to think, because we need that foundation. And this is
Absolutely.
Peptides are the biggest repair, easiest way and quickest way to repair the body, from the DNA to the intestinal tract to your digestive system. Like the famous one that everybody knows about is BPC, and that comes from stomach acid.
Right.
But so that's, health starts in your mouth. So if we're digestion's better, our stomach's better, our guts better, then our hormones, or everything gets better, like including hormones, digestion, and your brain, because that gut brain connection gets repaired as your gut gets better. Like it heals the gut. That leaky brain, leaky vein gets repaired through peptides. And it's one of the fastest and easiest ways to help repair and get you back on track.
It is, and it's great to feel good again. And we've had, I can't tell you, countless times, people are taking the peptides. Crockett, I feel great. I say, hey man, that's awesome. And all of a sudden I get a call about a month and a half later, and I go, man, I just feel like I hit a wall. And I said, what happened? I said, well, I quit taking my peptides. What happened? I said, well, nothing. You just went back and started feeling the way that you did before. So with peptides, with the natural energy and everything, it is just like I said, the peptide life. And again, to start boosting your body ahead of time to start fighting things like peptides. It's a proven fact. Peptides fight against cancer and tumorous cells. I didn't make that up. You can look that up all day long. Your immune system, go ask your Alexa or go ask your Siri, hey, what is a host defense peptide? It's going to tell you exactly what this is. My phone's about to turn on and tell me exactly what it is. But anyway, so again, it touches everything. Women, if you want to have beautiful hair and nails, it comes back to peptides, epidermis growth factors. And, we actually help create that hair. And by the way, your hair has peptides in it. A lot of people don't understand. So again, everything that we touch, everything that we do in our life leads back to a peptide. One time somebody asked me about endorphins. I said, right. I said, man, I love the endorphins. I work out, I run and everything. But did you know that endorphin is a peptide hormone? Estrogen, proestrogen, peptide hormones. Human growth hormone, which signals the body to do so many things, is a peptide hormone. So by boosting this, we're boosting our own natural hormones. And here's the great part about this is, since these peptides have zero side effects, you'll find out also that if your doctor draws blood, it's your body producing its own natural hormones. Therefore, it's untraceable. We know this because with the racehorses, they've been testing the racehorses, but in using peptides, and they're not able to trace it. Rodeo horses, we've been working with them, dogs and cats, and even me when they're tracing me. I've asked Dr. Trang to actually test and see if she could find peptides or anything in my system. She couldn't. All she could find was my own natural hormones. So again, coming back to the base element that you actually need is a peptide, not a vitamin, not a mineral. Let's get back and get you in homeostasis first, and then we'll decide if we need to go anywhere else, if we need to go anywhere else.
So like once we get to a kind of a baseline, can you cut back on the frequency of the peptide, or is this something that it's just peptides for life or for life?
Well, I mean, to me, I say living the peptide life. Every day I source with peptides because again, in April, I'll be turning 64. And again, this is the natural energy level that I have. And I've been, I'm a dad up help doing feedings at night. So, Max, but again, so yeah, but it really depends on, we know that we need the peptides twice a day because we want to make sure that's in our blood 24 hours a day and stay in homeostasis. We know that for a fact. That's living the peptide life. We don't want our hormone levels doing this or endocrine system doing this because we get peptides and we're doing great. And then the peptides are wearing off and then we wait till the next day. So again, invest in yourself and do it the correct way.
Well, but it also kind of just depends on how old we are at this point too, because, as we get older, like we said, we don't make enough NAD, we don't make peptides, the hormones and all that stuff decline with age. So
right,
keeping your baseline up by using something like a peptide that doesn't give you side effects, doesn't make you jittery, gives you the natural energy, the natural high, is usually a better way to go than having 6 cups of coffee every day.
Well, yeah. And then of course, then you're going to start working on that adrenal failure, and everybody knows about that. I mean, hitting that adrenal cortex every day with that caffeine stimulation compared to what if you could take peptides and come back and just in the morning have a nice cup of tea. But, I know a lot of people are addicted, and of course caffeine is addictive, and when you get off of that, you're going to have headaches and other side effects. So again, I would rather just stay pure, do peptides. Let's see where you are in the next 60 to 100 days just doing peptides. And again, I've talked to 3 people today alone, Aaron, that actually your dad told to give me a call, and we talked about peptides, and these are health professionals, and they were actually in agreement. They said, Lauriston, golly, you know what? I'm going to stop taking every other supplement out there. And I don't know if anybody's ever heard, of Dr. Kenneth Cooper. Dr. Kenneth Cooper of the renowned Cooper Clinic right here in Dallas, Texas. They actually created something called aerobics. And, he actually is world known for what he does. And he says that Americans have the most expensive urine in the world because we take all these synthetic or byproducts of petroleum, vitamins and minerals, where we don't really need that. And you have to think about that. If the body's not able to get rid of these synthetic vitamins, then they're actually stored in the fat. And to me, that becomes an issue. I go back to the Bible where they used to do animal sacrifices at the temple. God said, eat the meat to, burn the fat to a pleasant aroma and to meat, because you're going to find all the toxins of a person, you're going to find it in the fat. So again, if you're taking that type of supplement, and then these processed foods, all the processed foods out there, look on the label, and you're going to see that there's more synthetic vitamins in there also. So we're always being inundated, and overtaking these things. Whereas what we need to be worrying about is our digestion and our body producing peptides, which of course is working with every cell in the body. And I don't know anything else out there that can say that it works with every cell in a human or a pet body. There's not anything else out there, because it all starts with a peptide.
Well, that kind of brings me back to when food and things like that say fortified with vitamin A and D. That means they took everything good out of it, had to put something back in it for it to actually be worthwhile to eat. To put in your
Where
body.
was it sourced? Where was it sourced? I guarantee you, it didn't come from a natural source. And as a manufacturer and as a formulator, I know where to buy all this stuff. And it's not tested. And actually, some of the stuff that's come in, as actually they found tree bark in it from China. You never know where it's coming from, but I guarantee you they're going to find the cheapest sources to do that. Let's talk about this, because your dad loves this product right here. So we're talking about Canine Prime, and we have dogs out there that are competition dogs, and we have dogs out there that need a little boost, because let's face it, dog foods are not the best foods in the world. So I decided to go back in the lab, and what I did is I found the highest source of nutrient dense product there is, which is beef liver. Beef liver is a superfood, and it has more nutrients in it than anything else. So what I did is I went ahead and contracted. We have our liver that's harvested for us, dried, ground up, made just for Genosem and the Gift for Life. And then what we did is we added 60 milligrams of the peptide. So when dogs are getting this, they are they're getting all the nutrients they could possibly need in a superfood beef liver, pure, no preservatives, along with 60 milligrams of that. Now, we then know, as an athlete, I used to take beef liver all the time. So what I do is I take a scoop of this. I know Michael does, and I know that there's other health professionals out there now that are taking this too.
I put it down in my shake in the morning.
You do? Oh, you put yours in your shake? Yeah, I put mine on tongue. I swallow it down. So I'm getting all my natural nutrients and stuff that people would want to get out of their vitamins and stuff, where you can actually get from beef liver naturally. And you want to talk about feeling good and getting kind of a energy rush after you take this. You just feel good because your body all of a sudden turns on, and this beef liver feeds the red blood cells, and then the peptides and the growth factors are working in harmony, and you just feel good. And like I said, it's just really great to feel good again. But again, you have to stop the way you're thinking, the way you've been trained and programmed, and start thinking, okay, do I really need to take all this stuff, or let me live the peptide life for 90 to 100 days, taking peptides twice a day, and watch what happens. You're going to feel fantastic. Oop, sorry, I lost you.
And this peptide lasts longer than, say, the injectables, because it's a bioavailable, natural occurring, and doesn't get destroyed throughout the body, or it doesn't in digestion and things like that.
Well, yeah, injectable, you're taking 2 or 3, 4, sometimes 5 shots a day. Absolutely. And you're limiting yourself to only like 1 growth factor per peptide, compared to this broad spectrum natural ingestible peptide.
Yeah.
Yes. Again, it's lasting up to 8 to 12 hours in the body. And it works throughout the whole body, working with the whole hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenaline axis, working with every hormone and every cell in your body is nurtured and with this peptide for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, and this is part of the, like he's touched on, like the quality of today, like of the.
Oop, lost you.
Why does I keep doing that? So we have part of the reason we've partnered with Genostem and Lauriston is because of the quality, like you mentioned, tree bark and things like that. We've really here, Dan and I, have painstakingly been very meticulous about who we've chosen to be with.
Yeah.
And promote and use, because like our supplements, the herbs, the homeopathics, we have really tried hard to vet and get the best and the highest quality and the most bio. And really, where it comes down to is the science and the bioavailability of the product we're taking. Because you're right, the most expensive supplement you buy is one that doesn't work, just gives you expensive pee. So that's that's what
Yeah.
I've done for the last 17 years, is research these companies and figure out who actually has a good product. And so what we represent and everything that we use for our clients and everybody like that, we've make sure the bioavailability of those supplements and peptides and you name it are kept. They are the top of the line and most available.
Well, and we are pharmaceutical grade. We're considered pharmaceutical grade. Everything that we make is made in an FDA facility with a GMP certification, blah, blah, blah. But the bottom line also is that I've set up testing. We have 4 different tests before that product ever leaves our manufacturing plant right here in America, made right here in Texas. And we have 4 different tests to make sure that it is the purest form and that everything is right on right before we ever send it out. And again, we've never had any complaints or anybody do anything except want to keep living the peptide life. And again, that's why I think we were so excited also to win the international award in Hong Kong. That's a pretty prestigious award to get for pets. Now they're jumping up and down wanting to know what they can do for the human side of this. So we'll be going into Hong Kong with that very soon too.
And coming back to like helping people rebuild and things like that, some people are underweight. Like this would probably aid in people gaining weight because it helps build the lean muscle and and help people absorb food better.
Yes, let's talk about that. First of all, lean muscle mass. We get back to true IGF-1 doing that. And so when the peptides are in your system and your system is working in optimal homeostasis, it will actually be able to pull out more nutrients out of the food than it would before, because your digestive system is working in a younger state compared to what it was if you're older and not actually using the peptides to help stimulate that. A lot of people are saying that their digestive tract starts working more effectively and they become more regular with bowel movements and stuff, because we're getting things moving and working again at optimal levels. So that's another thing that we're finding out that happens a lot.
Do you know much about the MTHFR? Like what do you know much about genetics, like the MTHFR STIP? Like, because this is somebody asked a question, is this safe for somebody or hinders detoxification? But this is a different pathway than your methylation pathway, so it won't affect that. But
No.
Have you ever had anybody experience die off with taking this product? Like,
I'm sorry, experience what?
Die off, like when the microbials and parasites start dying off in the system.
Oh, and they start having reactions to it with their body trying to get rid of the toxins?
Yes, like it might have come with a little bit of die off, but it might be a little bit more gentle than say taking like some herbs that are directly added. Like,
oh, absolutely. And then you're getting cramps and other things going on like that. So of course it would lead back to the HTPs, and we find the body actually killing it naturally without doing harm. So again, we haven't had any reactions from that. And again, peptides, unlike herbs or anything like that, there is no reaction. There's no side effects with peptides compared with herbs that can stimulate muscle cramping or anything like that if you're trying to detoxify yourself. Again, we're finding out that it's a lot easier and the whole body's working in homeostasis, working as one like we did when we were younger. So no, to answer the question, no, we've never had any issues with that. But we do know that HTPs are the most potent broad spectrum antibiotic that the body makes. That's a fact. You can't get around that.
Yeah, and like everybody says, a good offense is a good defense. So
and that's what we need to be boosting our body every day. Every day I'm preparing my body to fight off against cancers, fight off to make sure that my insulin levels are staying together, making sure I'm getting proper sleep. When I'm working out in the gym, major recovery in the gym. We're about to start working with a senior weightlifter who we believe that she's going to break the record by using her hard work and stuff like that. But the only thing she's going to be doing differently in competition is she's added peptides to her life. And we have found that your recovery time is cut almost in half, believe it or not, up to 50%. And we talk about that when we're working with horses. And with other athletes, we're finding out, and people that were able to increase their strength up to 15% in a very short period of time, naturally, with zero side effects. These peptides are that effective and they work that fast.
And what about, is it safe or for people with endocrine or hormonal prostate type cancers too, since it's raising?
Yes, again, I'm glad you asked that question. Again, peptides have zero side effects. Peptides fight against cancer and tumorous cells. And again, I'm going to be 64 in the next month or so. And my PSA came in at 1.070 on the safe marker between 1 and 4. So, my urologist found it absolutely amazing. Kept saying, Lauriston, you're not changing. And I just kind of laughed. And I said, okay. She said, but all you're doing is peptides. I went, exactly. But you won't prescribe it and you won't do anything about this with your patients because you're owned by Big Pharma. And she said, well, yeah, we can't really do that. I said, well, isn't that a shame? Because we can actually help people. So again, no, there is no issues. Wouldn't worry about it at all. And let's talk about this too. Somebody says, but Crockett, IGF-1 can cause cancer. Okay, synthetic IGF-1 can cause cancer and stimulate cancer, not naturally occurring IGF-1 and IGF-2. They cannot and will not harm you in any way.
Well, most likely if you're taking peptides and you're returning to balance, your body is making the correct peptides, not the xenoestrogens. They're not making the bad estrogens. And so
right.
The body, and it's also, some of these peptides act like scavengers and can balance all this out for you. So it would be it'd be a great preventative for cancer, and probably
act as a bioregulator. These peptides as a bioregulator. So that's exactly, Aaron, is what you're talking about. You're right on target.
And it would be a great recovery too. So when people go through the treatment, it is so hard on the body. The peptides would be one of the best things to rebuild the body back.
Yeah, think about all the harm that's been done on the cellular level, whereas the peptides are going to come in and start rebuilding on the cellular level and nourishing on the cellular level and boosting on the cellular level. So yes, absolutely. We have worked with people that have gone through different therapies, even chemo and stuff. And it's like they said, the only way they felt they're going to get through that chemo is by taking their peptides, because they didn't lose all that energy and they didn't lose their hair. And I'm not saying we're cured anything. I'm just saying that they had great results while they were taking peptides, even while they were on chemotherapy. And their doctors were mentioning even their blood counts were staying in order instead of them not being on the peptides. So we've had great results with that.
Plus, it's a peptide at the simplest form is the building block for all your cells and muscles and tendons and soft tissue, and from your intestine to your hair. So when you go through surgeries and treatments like that, you need something to boost your body back up and get it running properly again.
And it's so hard to grasp. Again, and I tell people this all the time, I say, when you look in the mirror tonight and you say, this is me, but it's not. It's 37.2 trillion cells working in harmony that make you you. And that is a vessel that carries your soul and your spirit. So again, when you look in the mirror tonight, you can't say, this is me. No, it's not. You have to really get down and think about really what's taking place. And again, remember that every cell in your body has the peptide. So let's think about getting that as a foundational supplement that we need, because our digestive system is about everything. It comes back to our life and longevity through digestion. And we know that these peptides are actually doing what they're supposed to do. It's a funny thing. My little boy asked me the other day, he said, Daddy, how long are you going to live to? And I said, well, with my lifestyle, with peptides, if we do the calculation properly, I'll probably live to 100 years old. In my book, we say, may you live to 110, because the human body is actually designed to be able to survive from 110 to 120. But with all the toxins and all the things that we're living in every day, we're being attacked every day. This is why I think it's so mandatory for longevity and health, and a real life worth living is through peptides. Because I have more energy than my children, and I feel sorry for them because we don't play video games. They got to come outside and play with me.
Oh man. Well, that's the, again, it goes back to just keeping the foundational molecules and the foundational health being built
Yes.
back up constantly. And unfortunately, we live in a world full of toxins and fake foods, and they, like Dad says, air isn't air anymore, water isn't water anymore, food
Yeah.
isn't food anymore. So we're not getting what we need from life anymore to sustain it. So we do need to supplement with peptides and
Well,
anything
it's in
like
the
that.
book.
Yeah.
Even farmers are using peptides in the soil now. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's in the book. You can read it in the book. And like I said, I hope everyone, please reach out to Aaron and Michael, and please, they'll send you my book for free. It's, like I said, you can buy it on Amazon right now, or just get it for free and read it. And please share it with everyone and start understanding what the peptide life is. And you'll find out that farmers are now trying to fortify their soil with peptides.
Yeah, well, a lot of things like from like you mentioned Maybelline, they're trying to put, what is it, the copper one, the GKU in there, and
Okay,
all
we
that
had the
stuff.
copper. Yeah, we got the copper peptide in our matrix. So this is where
Yeah.
it's coming
So
in.
we're a peptide matrix. Well, and with this new one, since it's such a low Dalton, you can add the new Pro with in the tablet form into any lotion. It becomes a peptide lotion.
Well, you can, and I'm glad you brought that up because I'd love to hear from the ladies, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. We actually have a gold capsule that we may be putting on the market, and I'd love to hear from you if you'd like this or not, and we'll create it for you. And it will have pure hexatide peptide in it. It won't have rice flour. It won't have magnesium stearate or inulin or anything else. It will be absolutely pure. And you can put that into any beauty product you want. I use it in my hyaluronic acid on my face. I put the natural peptide, the hexatide peptide in there. I shake it up, and I use that as a delivery system to get the peptides all over my face every day, in the morning when I get out of the shower, and at night before I go to bed. So I'd love to hear from everybody. If you guys think we should do that, where you can get pure peptides in this gold capsule, and that you can put it in any beauty product that you have. And they may say peptides, but now you know that you're getting a full spectrum peptide, and it will mix easily with everything that you've got. And we think that we can enhance your beauty products. So they said, well, Lauriston, why don't you come out with your own? Well, we don't think we want to do that, because you know what your favorite product is, and why would I want to compete with that? What we think we can do is enhance your favorite beauty product by you adding peptides to it, mixing it up and using it, and you're assured that you're getting a true full spectrum peptide, the hexatide peptide, in all your beauty products. And so you can use it externally and you can use it internally. But yes, I've been using this in my hyaluronic acid now for 10 years. So yeah, we're really interested in if the ladies or the men would like for us to do that, and you want to get it pure and put it in your beauty products, let us know, and we can come out the market with that in a very, very, very short period of time. And again, you just buy a capsule, and when you get it, you find your beauty products, you sprinkle the peptides in it, and you mix it up, and you're good to go. And now you know that you've really got something for sure, instead of just branding and a good advertisement campaign.
Yeah, we all want to look younger.
Yeah,
I've aged a lot in the last few years. So, all right, so we're coming to the part of the night. So if anybody has any questions, just raise your hand or type them in the question box, and we'll try and get an answer for you. And while we're waiting for the answers or questions to come in, I just wanted to say thanks for joining us again. And Mike and I, my dad and I, are very excited to be back with everybody again. And we said this last week, we're really appreciative of all the support over the last few years, and we're excited to be back doing this again. And to find out where your baseline is, we can definitely do that with the Zyto. And even though we were kind of gone for the last 2-3 years, we didn't stop working, didn't stop researching, and we have made so many improvements to our Zyto scans through our Solimar solution, proprietary solution scans to do the Zyto that we can tell you, we jokingly always say, from the time you chew, from the time you poo, we're going to know all about you. And we've just made that better. So it's better, it's quicker, and we can really find out where you are and what next steps to take. So I do have a question.
Okay.
And I would say yes, this would be fine, but they're asking if do you take the canine supplement and a multi at the same time
Well,
for dogs?
I don't think that you need to. Remember that liver is the most highly nutrient dense superfood out there. This is why we pick beef liver for our dogs, and also for us. Also, bodybuilders have been using beef liver, oh my God, all the way since the 40s. When they were making Hercules movies, they were always eating beef liver. So I don't see any reason to, where it is naturally, this is a human product that I put a dog label on. And the reason why we put the wolf on there is because every dog out there has the DNA of a wolf. But this is really the highest top tier human product that you can get, along with 60 milligrams of the peptide per scoop. So my answer to you is no, I don't see any reason why, because once you do the beef liver, and you can talk to Michael about that. I know your dad and you take it also. And we have other athletes that are taking it, other people just, they're wanting their health back. This is so natural that you actually just feel it as soon as you swallow it. You can feel those nutrients and everything. So my answer would be, you can, but I don't see any reason why you need to.
Now, have you ever experimented with other delivery forms like DMSO and emu oil and things like that to help drive it right into the system?
I have not, but again, you could add that capsule.
Yeah.
Decide to come out with capsule, and you're getting pure. Now remember, you're getting pure hexatide peptide.
Okay. Well, I did have a question. It was like, would you put the pure peptide and follow it with like a DMSO, like say on the side of an injury, and then to help drive it right into that spot?
You know what? To tell you what, the DMSO, I think that who said that? Do we have a name?
Don't have a name.
Okay, I think it's brilliant. I think it's brilliant. And I think it would work in harmony for an advanced healing and getting rid of pain. I know about DMSO because back when I've been a lifter, like I said, since I was one of the first Nautilus trainers back in 1982 in Clearwater, Florida. But, we were working with that back then. So that's never been brought up to me before. Thanks for asking that. And I think that would be absolutely brilliant to do. Or do you just take the peptide internally, and then the DMSO, when it's working, will it actually activate and start working along with the peptides? I think there's two ways of doing it. But no, I think it would be brilliant if you ever wanted to do that, you could.
Yeah, you put a little red light therapy on top of it, activates stem cells, peptides, and everything. That would be amazing.
Are you kidding? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We've used DMSO and other things to drive it right into the system. It's pretty interesting. I do like that method.
Do we have any other questions?
Oh, and then I wanted to say we will send out a link because why are growth factors needed with peptides?
Well, they're naturally occurring. You'll have to ask God about that one. These are naturally occurring growth factors. These growth factors are actually naturally occurring because they're part of the peptide matrix. So, you can get a growth factor from a common chicken egg, believe it or not. You're eating a chicken egg, you're getting a growth factor. So it's hard to separate it, but we were able to harvest all these different naturally occurring growth factors in our peptide matrix because it actually came from that, and it's hand extracted. It's a fertilized egg, and it's everything made right here in America with a special feed. It's kind of the Coca-Cola formula, but again, so yeah, it's naturally occurring. So there's nothing to worry about. And we need growth factors to tell the cellular receptor sites what to do. Like, again, we spoke about collagen. Everybody's taking collagen. Sure, is collagen a peptide? Absolutely. But how do we get the body to activate and use it? We get the body to activate and use it by using growth factors. That's why the hexatide peptide is so superior than just taking regular collagen.
Okay, and then is there any real difference between the human formulas and the pet formulas?
No, it's only about dosing. Pets don't weigh as much, so we keep them about 33 to 60 milligrams compared to a human being who's usually over 120 pounds or something, and we'll go from 100 milligrams up to 150. With horses, they're actually getting 750 milligrams twice a day, because I'm dealing with 1,100-pound animal. I did want to talk about our HNS 21, our beauty product out there that we have too. Is, guys, it's not a sales pitch. I'm just talking about formulation. Okay. So what I did with this is we added 75 milligrams of the peptide, and I called it the golden key of beauty because it's for hair, nails, and skin. And so you've got what we call royal collagen. No one's ever done it before that we know of. So what we added is royal bee jelly, which is so healing and nutrient dense, along with collagen. And we put that in a blend. And then we put that blend in with the peptides. And we actually came out with, and I hope you can see it, it's just a very tiny little white pill. And you take that twice a day, but you're getting 100 milligrams of royal collagen, which you're not going to get anywhere else. It smells fantastic compared to these other products with all these vitamins, which are just toxic. But anyway, along with the peptides, and you're going to find out that your hair and your nails are just going to explode. And you're getting collagen, which of course we all need collagen in our system. So that's one way of getting that too.
Okay. Well, I don't think we have any more questions tonight.
Okay.
I want to thank everybody. Thank you, Lauriston, for coming on here. We'll try and keep up with our Peptide for Life webinar series. We'll try and schedule another one here in March.
Yeah, and let's talk also about the affiliate program your dad's created.
Yes, I was just about to touch on that.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, we're so excited to work with your dad. We always call him the smartest man in the room.
Yeah. He is. And that's hard to be his son when he's always the smartest man in the room.
And we hope everybody reaches out and gets the book also. There's so many information and questions that the light bulb will just go off and go, oh my gosh, it's right there. And then all the reference and everything.
This affiliate program gives you a chance, because we believe in this product and we believe in what peptides do. So we created the affiliate program for you to, you could create your own little, you get a little out of it too. So once you become an affiliate, you get paid on what your friends or your family or the people you sign up bring in. It's not network marketing. It's just a way to share it and try and share the wealth.
And a discount.
So
yeah, we actually created that. We've never done that before, but because of your dad, we actually came out with our first affiliate program because your dad wanted to help so many people out there. And times are hard sometimes. We want to make sure everybody feels great. So we designed this specifically just for you guys. And we're very, very happy and so proud to be working with you.
Yeah, we're excited too. And if you want more information, give me a call and we'll get you signed up. Or you can call Lauriston and he can have you call me and we'll get you signed up.
Yeah, but, everybody, on the level, if you want that, be sure and reach out to you, because we know that you can send that out too.
Yeah, and give me a call if you're interested in scheduling a Zyto to see where your baseline is. We are open for business again and taking scans. I'm every day, and Mike's like every other day. He's got to take it easy still, so we got to wait for him to get back to full speed. But we are excited again. We're just really excited to be back in business and helping your family again. And
Aaron, let me say this in closing. If you want to find out information, you can go to genostim.com. It's GENOSTIM. It stands for genome stimulation. If you have a pet, put them in my care and watch what we can start doing in 4 days. That's the THEgiftforlife.com. THEGIFTFORLIFE.com. If you go to purchase, though, I would say get in touch with Aaron and Michael first. Get in that affiliate program. Get your discount. Start living the peptide life. Be part of our peptide family. And let's reach out and change lives together. We're all healers together, but we need each other.
And I would say that, just real quick, I have a 13-year-old Chihuahua that hadn't been doing so well, and I started giving him the Pro and the Canine, and it took a few days. He was not walking on his own. He stopped using his back legs because I think he was in pain. And now he is he's not quite back to 100%, but he is. I don't have to carry him to go to the bathroom anymore.
How old is he?
13.
Yeah, so we're working with a 13-year-old dog that's been neutered, right?
Right.
So we didn't get to him until he was 13. and we're getting still results there. We're getting results with a lot of other animals and all over the world. Now, like I said, we're working with dogs and cats and horses from here all the way into Hong Kong. So we're so glad that we're able to help. And if he stays on the peptide life, he's going to getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, I got to keep him around for a while. He's my he's my best friend.
I got you, brother. I got you.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll be keeping up with these webinars, getting back in touch with everybody. And again, thank you so much, Lauriston, and thank everybody for showing up tonight. And we will talk to you later. Give me a call, get scheduled for your Zyto, find out what you're doing, what your needs are and your baseline are, and that way we can get you back. Well, we'll pump you back up. We're here to pump you up.
Hey, you guys, you're a blessing.
Talk
Everybody
to
have
you
a blessed
later.
evening.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.